A very good evening and welcome to a very special video from IMAScore at Thorpe Park tonight, and it's Friday. Give me a drink. Yeah. Get in.
Non-alcoholic.
I'm the only one having Stella tonight, and we are doing a very exciting stuff at Thorpe Park tonight, aren't we?
Very exciting. We're playing Monopoly.
Do it. Look at that carpet, I must say. Yes! We've got a VIP spot, and look at this. Thank you very much, Thorpe Park, for this. We've got the new logo displayed, and look at this in more detail tonight. I'm looking forward to this event. Bring it on.
Similar to what Alton Towers Resort does within the Hall of the Mountain King. The thing is, in the Hall of the Mountain King is a famous classical piece of music that everybody already knows. So you have actually, you really don't have to establish it in a way or get it into the people's heads to identify it with a certain brand, theme park, or attraction. And in this case, we really needed to create a melody which resonates, first of all, of course, with the team involved. And there are really some great people involved. The thing is that we just don't want to understand that they are looking for an annoying soundtrack. Why would anyone want that? And we try to put in elements that are calm, that are a little bit more atmospheric, just to not drive people crazy, because it doesn't make sense. And the thing is, they really helped us in the end after, I think it was the 7th demo, just telling us, think of your music as being like a factory of fun. Create something that is like pumping all the time, driving people crazy. Let the people hate your music. It's not the usual approach that we do. We try to make music that pleases the people. People are happy with it. Maybe they buy it on CD and they listen to it at home. We thought people will never listen to the Smiler soundtrack. And then how many YouTube views do we have on this one? Like 5 million? What's up with you guys? But no, we're really happy that this is some sort of one of our biggest milestones. Having the music made for the Smiler it was challenging also, because it was so off the chart of being an annoying soundtrack that on purpose. But still, it was fun, and it resonated very much with the guests and the industry, and became iconic in a way. And this is something that you can't force. This is something that it just happens. And we tried it a few times afterwards in different attractions, but nothing went through the roof like this one. So it was fun, and really happy that you people. We were arriving in the dark because we had a 2-hour trip from London here, which was great. But we thought already in the dark, and we can't wait to ride it. Our composers are busy at the moment producing the soundtrack, and you already heard quite a lot of it, which takes away a bit of the thing that I'm showing you now. But this is a little longer snippet from which you already know from Thorpe Park's marketing. I would say a couple of years ago, we had another change in our approach on creating soundtracks for attractions. The thing was that usually rides have a 3D animation. In this case, and also on other attractions before, the basis on this one, it wasn't available, but we're actually doing it right now. It's like creating a soundtrack, a bespoke soundtrack based on this theme that we have on the on-ride video that we receive, a 3D animation of it. Why does this make sense? The thing is, when you produce a soundtrack on this on-ride video, you have really the chance to cover all the the whole experience that the guests will have on the ride. And this resonates then in the music and becomes a part of the final background music, the BGM, that will be played on site. And it will never be an onboard soundtrack, but it could be. But the thing is that it really, while the guests are waiting there, they get a better understanding for the upcoming ride in a way that they are already experiencing it music-wise, which is a kind of nice approach. I think that you were the first actually with this idea coming up, and some parks were following this idea later on. I'm not sure if they spoke to you, but this is, we have a fantastic designer here in the front row. And the thing is that this is a really nice approach to really give a good connection between music and the experience itself. For now, we're done with the official presentation part, and I thank you very much. And I think we have a small break now, is that right? We have some biscuits. Do we have still some biscuits? Yes, we have. Thumbs up. Great. So we're all taking biscuits, and then we have a little Q&A all together.
Honestly, so far, I try my best to film, but there's demos and stuff I don't want to film too much because it's copyright thing and to respect that the company IMAScore have put into and things that we never heard of before, and I have to respect that. HYPERIA come up for the first time to the world tonight, and finally the news is out. HYPERIA is now composed by IMAScore. So what's your thought about IMAScore event so far at Thorpe Park?
The IMAScore event is actually really, really cool. Like, a lot of the concepts and demos of the music have, it's really, really strange. Like, when they first teased the first ever Thorpe Park soundtrack, it sounded nothing compared to what Thorpe Park is now. But when they did all the demos and came to the very final production, there was a massive loop. Like, you did not sound like it. There was absolutely no resemblance. It sounded like a different park, sounded like something outside the UK. But to be honest, I do prefer the older sound, like the older productions. They sound really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
And I would love to see more of that produced around the Thorpe Park Resort.
So I've got the wonderful people for this iconic place, Arch Nemesis and Jack Silkstone.
Good evening.
So, HYPERIA is finally announced to the world of the soundtrack. Tell us about your thoughts about the evening so far.
The evening's been fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, so we started off talking through like some behind the scenes photos and stuff from projects they've worked on.
They do so much. It's not just soundtracks. What's exciting about tonight is they're showing us concept designs, start to finish, and the process of how they make stuff. So it's been fascinating.
And then we had some demos, which was very cool.
That was interesting, wasn't it? Like, we never heard of these before, but it gives us a taste we had a guessing game, didn't we, at the same time?
Yeah. So we had Ghost Train, we had the Smiler, we had the Thorpe Park like melody.
That was
very
exciting
cool.
to see the start of the process in terms of where they started making the demos to where they are now. It's a fascinating work process. So that was cool to try and pick out which soundtrack it was coming from. That was really clever.
And then what did we get, Dom?
HYPERIA, yes! Come on, I've been waiting for that for so long, and it's finally out.
When Dom was, when it played, Dom was trying to get up off his seat.
I literally want to say something like, "Oh my God, it's happening!"
Big up the Thorpe Park events team and everything. Absolutely brilliant. You've got your coffees and teas over here.
Look at this.
They always put on brilliant events. Couldn't recommend it enough. Got my squash over here.
The problem with my squash just now, I've got bad news. I've brought two because I thought it's got water in it already. I put the squash right at the top, not
Very
really.
strong was it?
Now I feel a bit hyper.
Got the sugar rush stuff.
I'll tell you what, you don't need prime, you just need that.
Very good there. It's absolutely brilliant evening so far, and I think we've got a little Q&A section next.
Oh yes, yeah.
Should be good.
Is there anything that you want to ask these guys?
Will it be on YouTube, HYPERIA?
Nice.
Yeah, because that was a good version tonight, honestly. I feel like there's something powerful on the way.
Very cool to hear. Very cool.
But here's to the future, Jack and Archie.
Cheers, man.
We're on HYPERIA. Or maybe I should do HYPERIA shouting out in this place. I don't think that's a good idea. I know you two laughed in my live stream, I know.
Brilliant live stream. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
It was very good. Very
To
good.
celebrate my 4,000 subscribers, please join. Thank you very much. So here's to the future. Have a good night now, alright?
You too, bro.
How many demos did it take to create something like the Big Top soundtrack? Obviously quite different to a main area, something more like a scale 8. How long did that take?
Just one question in between. Should I repeat it, or did everyone hear that? No, okay. So how many demos did it take on the Big Top, and if it's different, creating a soundtrack for the Big Top than is for an area, for example? Was that right? Okay. The Big Top was, I have the right one here. I shouldn't go too close. 3? Yeah, you're sure? I will look that up. If it's more, we will have an argument later on. I think we came there quite quickly, didn't we? I think the style was quite clear. It was important to make it as different as possible from the Smiler, because it has like the same sort of annoying vibe. I wouldn't say it's different producing a soundtrack for a maze or an area. Now, I also need to correct myself on this one. Producing the soundtrack for a maze is important because we only have a short period of time people are in a specific area. While on area music, it's important to not annoy the guests even if they're staying there for 1.5 hours. This is what it's important to find a good balance in dynamics, melodies, and diversity within the music. So this is the difference on this one. And yeah, 3 demos isn't that much, that's okay.
Is it possible to tell us about, with new project like HYPERIA at the moment, how do you identify the character for the soundtrack? Is it just the branding that you get received and then you have to work around it? Can you explain how that comes to the starting point to where it ends?
So how we find the character of a new attraction, sound-wise, music-wise, which style, which mood. The creatives usually already know quite well which direction we need to go. And obviously the whole theme gives away most of it already. On this project, talking about HYPERIA, you need to stop me if I'm saying something that I shouldn't talk about. Just come here and kick me. The thing was, it was planned from the beginning to be orchestral and to be grand. And the new approach, which is, I would say, a kind of new approach for Merlin, not to rise the apocalypse about the guests, that made it a bit like challenging. Finding a voice for this attraction, which is like it's a fantastic roller coaster. So on the one hand, it needed to have we needed to look for something that makes it some sort of easy to identify. We think we found a way to do that also sound-wise, with the sound of the wings and all that kind of stuff, supporting the music and also trying to push that into the composition as well in a subtle way. So this was like, in the beginning, I think the biggest challenge, to create a positive orchestral soundtrack away from the typical way that Merlin often does on their attractions, which work and still works very well on many attractions. And they created unique stuff also, and we've been luckily a part with our soundtracks. And here we had the chance to create something really positive that really should like get the guests to create a superior feeling of that they still have a challenge, but they can, if they make it, they are the real heroes. And from the beginning to the end, not like in the end, usually in the end we have the, oh, we survived moment. And here we have the moment where we really became heroes. And this is a slight difference. And this was actually challenging, because it's not only Merlin, I need to say that, that's important. It's not only Merlin who tried to make themes that are dark, let's say dark. Most parks, or many creatives do that because it's a quite obvious way to get the guests on a journey and to make them fear the ride, to really rise the tension and make them nervous before getting on the roller coaster. It absolutely makes sense to scare them a bit. Wow. And here we had, just to sum it up again, here we had the chance to give them a positive feeling from the very beginning and make them even more happy in the end.
Thank
It's
you.
different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which project has excited you and your team the most as theme park enthusiasts when you've been approached by a theme park or a parent company?
Which project has amazed us the most as we're enthusiasts as well when we've been approached by a theme park company? Of course, all Merlin rides. So the thing is, usually I get the mails. Usually I'm the one seeing the project first, and I still cheer for everything new that comes in. And yet, maybe some people say, okay, it's maybe about the money or because it's a job. No, it isn't. It is a thing we make our living out of it. That's an important part. Otherwise, we couldn't do that all day long. That wouldn't work out. But we really, really love it. So I really couldn't name one. There are projects that are more surprising when we get the mail and can send a quotation out, and yeah, we hope to get it and just wait for the response. Especially when it comes to theme parks we haven't worked before. Of course, that's always cool, and I'm still waiting for some theme park creatives mail coming in that we never received before, because not because we're collecting them in a way, just because it's so cool to learn to meet new people from the industry and trying to get into their head to understand what they are looking for musically. That's really a fun process. And also, when I say that we love this industry, then I also mean that there is hardly an industry where the people are so kind, fair, and supportive. And therefore, we cheer for every new project we're allowed to get our hands on, because we're again working in a team. Maybe we worked before or maybe not, but in the end it turns out that we're all a big family and just fun.
Looking to the future of IMAScore, would you be interested in creating your own attraction from scratch? Or an audio experience? Because during COVID there was a lot of stuff online, which would you could pay for an audio experience through the computer and like that, or physical experience.
If we're at IMAScore, would be interested in creating an own experience or maybe audio experience, which maybe can also be experienced online, for example. Yes, of course. This is like the whole idea of IMAMotion and intertwining both companies and creating own experiences. And yeah, the plan is actually to have something not in secret, but we're working on some sort of little storytelling thing that we would like to present on the HYPERIA Europe later next year. Not really to sell it as a product, but to just show the people what we're capable of in combination with effects and theming and music and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're completely open for that. And of course, obviously, we're absolutely open for creating and being involved in the creation of theme park attractions. And actually, Tim did this head of the stunt show at Movie Park Germany. It was completely his idea he came up with. So in a way, it is our creation. But the thing is, and that's an important thing, someone needs to pay for it, to build it. And I wouldn't say we're in a position to build a complete theme park, even though this is still a dream that let's see what is in 10 years or 20 or 30, not sure. We're open for that. We all played Roller Coaster Tycoon. It was a great pleasure. We will still stay here for a few minutes for sure. Still have any questions, then just hit me up. Other than that, I hope there's still biscuits. Thank you.
Personally, it's been a good night, and much as I'm wearing my high vis, but I just want to let people know about I'm filming as well tonight. And they were giving out Thorpe Park CD. Oh, classic. Another one to put in the collection to say I've got another Thorpe Park CD. Thank you, IMAScore, for a good night. and yeah, history continues with IMAScore. They've done well, and I'm proud of what they've done. And now the ride for HYPERIA, working with IMAScore for its soundtrack. So happy now, it's finally out. Thanks very much.
3 legends. Superhero pose.
I just want to say thank you very much for the invite and being part of an IMAScore event tonight. Really good event, really interesting indeed. And as a theme park fan and loving their music and have passion for the music as well, which I have, it's just fascinating to know how long these things take. And there was bits I couldn't film because there was demos that were played that never shown out loud before, and as to respect to the rights that they own. So it is what it is. So I hope you got to see what you want to see. It may be short, but I hope you can respect that there was bits I couldn't film because copyright, and understanding that there was bits that I couldn't show you a lot apart from what you got to see. I've had a good night though. That's the main bit. And hopefully we'll do more of these events in the future. And if you love your music and love these sort of things really, definitely keep an eye on the future. Best things to follow Thorpe Park in the future and see what events they've got in line in the future. But for now, I'm going to bed. Be sure to subscribe to see more. Catch you later. It's been a long day.